Hi friends, little Monday Mariesons for you today to hopefully start off your week with a little dose of inspiration and motivation. I, I, I take the time to do these because I think that story is hugely powerful. I think we're given stories to share and to connect with one another, and oftentimes, we don't even realize that, as we share, there's words of wisdom to be given to other people. And I know I've just had kind of a crazy last year and I've learned a lot. And I just feel like maybe there's some encouragement for someone else to be gained from the road that I've walked. So that's why I take time to do that. But with that, I give a disclaimer. I by no means am an expert on life. The more life that I live, the more I learn that I have so much more to learn, and I learn some of the same lessons over and over and over again. So I am no expert. I'm just as flawed as the next person. So take that. And today I just wanted to share about a person that I hugely admire. It's a friend of mine who passed away about a year ago, and his life had a huge impact on some of my reasons for just taking a detour in life and rethinking what's important. So my friend Trip, the best way that I think most people who know him would describe him as an all-in kind of guy. He was a man of faith, and he just lived that faith so outwardly. By the choices that he made and by the way that he interacted with people, he was just one of those people that when you hung out with them, you left a little bit changed. Like, how does this man do it? He actually married one of my good friends. She's at the time a single mom of 2 children, and one of her children was severely autistic. And when Tripp fell in love with Carla, he was all in. Some people passed by and didn't want to even think about whether it was worth it to date someone with a child with autism. They just passed on by. In Tripp's case, that didn't even cause him hesitation. He started dating Carla and then decided this is who God brought for me, and chose to marry Carla and become a wonderful father to those 2 kids. And with autism comes great sacrifice for any parents. I have several friends that are parents of autistic children, but in Tripp's case, that he didn't have to choose that. He could have walked away, but he didn't. He I don't know, the way that he just embraced that as part of his life, that he fell in love with 3 people and created this beautiful family. And then, knowing going into that it was going to require so much of him, he did that joyfully. And I think the way in which he approached life and approached loving his family, and then opened his doors to invite others in and meet them in their own needs, was just incredible. I mean, I know I had many a conversation with people after hanging out at their house, where we would just kind of scratch our heads and wonder, how do they do it? How do they live so joyfully? Because they have just these big challenges in life. But Tripp you just never saw complain, and he just was always such an all-in guy. He gave everything he had. He was a kindergarten teacher, and he was the guy that would dress up and go overboard for those kids because he just loved them so much. And so when Tripp passed away after a sudden heart attack, I think we were all just broken, all at a loss of what the world had lost in that moment. But then going to his memorial, it really struck me how much he had impacted the community around him and how he lived his life. And he didn't have a long life. It felt like his life was cut drastically short. But man, he lived those years so well. He lived them with such excellence and such grace. And, it just showed by the stories that were told and the number of people that had to be there. And honor his memory. It was really a beautiful thing. And for me, I left the memorial that day thinking he was all in. Like, he lived a life that changed lives. That's what I want to do. That's how I want to be. I want to be inspired by that and really do something different. And it is because of him, so he is my reason for quitting my job, or one of the reasons I should say. It's just the way he lived his life had a huge impact on the way I wanted to live mine. And so I took the leap, and it didn't seem like a courageous thing at the time. It just seemed like a no-brainer. It just seemed like what I wanted was so different than what I was doing. And so I just give honor to a man that we've been without for a year. I know that he's dancing in the heavens and watching down over all of these people who he touched. And maybe he has eyes to see just the impact that he had. But I leave you with that. Just think about, people in your life that maybe have done great things, are leading by example, and hopefully that will inspire you to maybe do something different in your life, or maybe approach life differently. Because for me, just knowing that this man had a short time on earth, but man, he did something big and drastic, and I know he left this earth feeling just good about how he had spent his days. And so I leave you with that. I wish you the best week, and I will connect with you later. Thanks.